employs over 3 million people, including women. The target now is to reach $20 billion. The industry, under the dynamic leadership of Janab Rafiq Ahmad, Chairman CLE, is now poised for a great future. May the glorious vision of Shri A. Nagappa Chettiar grow from strength to strength and reach greater heights.
To Shri Nagappa Chettiar. I request the dignitaries to take the seats on the dais, please. Dr. T. Ramasamy, Dr. A.C. Muttaya, Shri M.M. Hashim, and Shri G. Narayanaswamy. T. Yegammai Chidambaram to please come to the dais. Dr. A.C. Muttaya, Shri M.M. Hashim, Srimati Yegammai Chidambaram, Shri G. Narayanaswamy. Padmashree Nagappa Chettiar, who was hailed as the king of leather, was a pioneer who laid foundations for the development of the leather industry and enabled it to be one of the engines of India's economic growth. He was responsible for initiating the first Indian Leather Fair at Chennai, which is now an annual event. The Nagappan Memorial Trust has instituted an Outstanding Entrepreneur Award for the alumni of CLRI. The first award was conferred upon Mr. Srinivasan, the MD of Prime International, during the lyric inauguration. I now request Dr. T. Ramasamy to release the book Tribute of CSR CLRI to Shri Nagappa Chettiar and give the first copy to Dr. A.C. Muttaya. Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. T. Ramasamy, former Secretary DST, DG CSIR, to pay his tributes.
Dr. Muttaya, Sir Hashim, Sri Narayanaswamy, Mrs. Chidambaram, family members of Sri Chettiar, representatives of the industry, captains of the sector, scientists of CLRI, my colleagues from the council, Dr. P.S. Ahuja, former Director General of the Council of Central Industrial Research, the Director of this Institute, Dr. A.B. Mandal, and all in the house. Very, very good morning to all of you. We have truly assembled here to pay homage to one of the very remembered architects of the Indian leather sector, Sri Nagappa Chettiar. Before I make any comment, I believe, speaking from the heart, the Indian leather sector was a great deal to this individual. So we have assembled here to really perform duty, to pay respects to a man who contributed in several ways and not in a specific manner. And I therefore consider it a very rare privilege and honor to represent on this occasion the entire Central Leather Research Institute, the past, present, and perhaps the future as well. And one would ask the question, what gives me right to represent the Central Leather Research Institute on this occasion? I think generosity of Dr. Mandal is that I should speak on behalf of this institution on this whole. I do have a kind of a special reason as to why I'm representing this institution and the council here. By coincidence, you might have heard that Indian Leather Fair Society, all those get together, all started in the year 1964. There's a year in which I joined the leather sector. I joined the beat extrude So my very first year, it was a great exposure to this wonderful, seamless partnership, the academy, research, and industry. And at that tender age, as just joining as a BTech student, I thought Nagappa Chettiar was the director of the CLRI. He was such an important player in the process, and I remember very vividly the kind of influence he enacted on the whole sector, not just the organization. The day after my BTech examination, I went and joined the Chrome Leather Company as a technical personnel, and that was Mr. Chettiar's company. So I worked for him for about 9 months, a little less than 9 months. So I had the privilege of working directly under this great man. I learned a lot of things from him. In fact, he talked about the upgradation at that time itself in a very powerful way. He knew the power of empowerment of performing professional, and therefore I have a small justification to represent several of you on this dais. If we were to look at Mr. Chettiar's contribution to the leather sector, he was a leader for excellence. When India was at that time participating in the auctions in London, it was he who galvanized the entire industry and said, look, unless you open the letter of credit, we get nothing from this material. And he was a voice of Indian leather sector on a global platform. He represented the sector in the policy formulation, in the transition of what was primarily a raw material supplying nation into what we see today as a great supplier of value-added products on the world at a high value realization. I think he sowed the seed, and what we reap as a fruit today is something that he has contributed in a remarkable way in the past. Mr. Nagappa Chettiar, in my opinion, is someone who has set the tone for modern leather industry well ahead in the 60s, and therefore all of us who benefit from the Indian leather sector today owe a great deal to this man for what he has contributed. Let me thank him for what he has done to us, and I thank the family for giving us an opportunity to participate in the centenary year. And I would like to make an appeal to the Indian leather sector in this particular case, this partnership of academy, research, and industry, that we should perhaps commission and set up a Chettiar Nagappan Centenary Year lecture annually, a memorial lecture, to be organized in this particular instance, initiative taken by the industry and assisted by the Leather Research Institute, because I think he is a living legend of the Indian leather sector. I am very positive that Mr. Hashim being Hashim, he would take it to much greater heights. And I request him on behalf of all of us that we establish such a lecture. Thank you very much.
I now request Shri A.C. Muttaya, Chairman M.
Dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Ramsamy, my friend Mr. Hashim, my very old and good friend Mr. G. Ramsamy, Egamai Chidambaram, friends who have come here. I'm indeed very happy and honored to receive this book marking the centenary year of Sri Nagappa Chettiar. The book is Prasad and sponsored by the family. And I thank the family for giving me the opportunity for receiving the book from Mr. Ramasamy, Dr. Ramasamy. I have no personal interaction with Nagappa Chettiar, but I used to know him and see him. He was a very good friend of my father's, and I have visited his office once in, I think it was Davidson Street. I don't know whether Davidson Street or Sambudha Street. I went to invite him for a family function, and he was sitting there. Next to him was a telex. Those days we didn't have emails and these smartphones. So the telex used to go on fluttering all the information, and then I received him. Then once or twice I met him in London, where he used to stay in the Charing Cross hotel. He was an admirable person, very simple, humble, and he had tremendous native skills. Can you imagine a person who started his career at the age of 15 with a limited education and knowledge, developed into a fantastic business. He started from Sri Lanka at the age of 15, came here, started the India Leather Corporation, which became the biggest exporter of leather from India, semi-finished leather from India. And also he broke the, just now in the visual we saw, he broke the cartel, which was all the European customers, I'm told, used to buy from the auctions in UK. So, but he instead, he boldly went straight to the customers and defying the auction procedures and succeeded. Not only he succeeded, he made all his friends in the leather industry from here to also take this step. And with that, he became the largest foreign exchange earner in South India. And it was a tremendous job which he had done. Although he was a very busy person, he used to spend a lot of time with his family. And in the foreword, Egamai quotes that a nice couplet from Thiruvallur, saying that those who share their domestic life will always, domestic life with virtue and grace will always dwell in heaven next to God. It's a beautiful couplet she has quoted, and I'm very glad to read that. I once again thank the family. They're also following the footsteps of the father, both Egamai and Chidambaram. I wish them all the very best and success, and thank you all once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.